Hey there, Dr. Feitschenk here with a raised finger. So what is this? In my son's school, he's just started big boy school, they've got this great concept where you can mess around, you know, the 10-year-old, 11-year-olds, and you can be your normal boisterous, 10-year-old self. However, there are one or two occasions during a class where the teacher will raise her finger and say it's now quiet time for 3 minutes, and everyone, without any exception, has to pay attention and be absolutely quiet. So please, this is one of them. Alrighty? As you look around here, not in my room, on the membership site, you see a ton of content. Your objective with this membership is to see that stuff works, get to the point where you go, Eureka, I've got it, so you can go and implement it. Now, if you go out and look at all the stuff you can see around here, all those different, products I've put out, all the different coaching modules, all the recordings, everything, you will once again get overwhelmed. So, your job at this very point is to ignore everything you see around here. All of it. The only thing I'd like you to look at, and I'll guide you to it right now, is this here. Okay, so now we can see all the goodness here. There is a lot of stuff, and I will go through it in a minute, but then you can basically start messing around again and, not pay attention. But right now, this is it. With all of this here, the only thing that's important is two things. One is you go up here and look at the make them buy, okay? Other products, make them buy. This is the foundation for everything in here. So the centerpiece, if you like, of this whole experience.im is this here, the monthly case studies, where we go in and you will see stuff happening with everything. Not just like here's the refined, beautiful stuff, but the planning stages, the implementation stages, the execution stages, the failures, how we try to remedy the mistakes, how make it better, and of course the successes. That is what it's all about. So you can always look at these here, and by all means, dive in there. But of all the other stuff, the only thing that's important is make them buy, because that is the foundation for selling properly. Get this right and everything else will fall into place. If you ignore this, you will not speak the same language as everyone else. So when you go to a monthly case study and I present something and you go, I don't understand that term, it is because it's covered in make them buy. When someone else asks, oh, how about that, and you don't get what it is because it's covered in make them buy. That is the most important thing, okay? There's only 4 modules, go through them. I recorded this specifically as a foundation for everything. Once you've got this is basically in my case, 7-year marketing education condensed into a couple of hours. Make sure you get that. Once you've got that, number 2, look at traffic up here and look at the traffic foundation. These are the only 2 things you really need. Get the traffic foundation. That will tell you everything about doing traffic properly. And once again, that is an hour and 6. It is such a good use of your time to get this one right. And then from there, you can build out everything else. And then you can ask intelligent questions. And that is the beauty, or that is basically the difference between someone who succeeds and someone who flounders and continues to jump from thing to thing. Successful entrepreneurs ask intelligent, directed questions. They buy stuff just in time. They look for solutions just in time. Anyone who doesn't know where to look, basically because there's too much stuff they didn't even know they're supposed to know, to them everything will look appealing. And that is exactly what might happen here if you ignore my advice. If you look at all this, not all of this, all of this, but all of this, there's just too much stuff. Ignore it. And if too many people ignore it, I will have to ban it and throw it out and then provide it as on a need-to-know basis. So for now, please, the only 2 things you need to look at is make them buy, boom, and in traffic, the traffic foundation. That's so important, I might even put it up here, right? These are the 2 things you need to click on, number 1 and number 2. Alrighty, now, go into mess. Actually, now, I'm going to run you through the rest, alright? So, this is the bit where you paid attention. Now you can pay half attention. I'll just quickly show you what we've got in here. So, in traffic, we have, obviously, the traffic foundation. It's about an hour, and really, you must go through this. Foundation part number 2, taking the traffic to the next level, kind of builds on that. It was created for a different purpose, but you know, it goes in there. SEO, that's about 2 hours. Now, a couple of different things in SEO. There's the SEO foundation, which basically shows you how not to do it. And this is from personal experience. Lots of the stuff I've done wrong when I got started in this. A lot of the myths going around, a lot of the things you should not be doing, and I explain to you why you shouldn't be doing it. And you know, really, you'll see my sites going up and down. Competition research done correctly is a slightly older report, but is still valid to this day. It basically answers the question. You know, when you go out and go, how many in-title thingies should I look for? What is competition? How much competition is, you know, when there are 50 million results pages in Google? That's all answered in there. Then that was traffic. Then let's have a look at offer. So we've got in offer. The whole offer part is basically about the application of sales psychology. You know, putting something out there that resonates with your target audience. And once again, the foundation for creating really juicy offers is in, guess what? Make them buy. So make sure you go through that. And what we've got in here is a previous product of mine called Kick-Ass Video Sales Letters. And that is all about creating, well, guess what? Video sales letters, okay? It's a combination of sales psychology, presenting skills. This is mostly along the lines, you know, you standing in front of a camera. So there you go, already. You know, if you're not someone who wants to stand in front of a camera, well, okay, you know, probably don't need it. Don't need to look at it right now. It's not going to go away. It's here. Product. This is all about creating products. And you know, if you think, well, I don't want to create a product, go and read this stuff, because there are very good reasons why you should create products. Couple of things here, creating video products. This is not an in-depth course at the moment, but we will be building this out over time. And a previous product of mine, your expertise as a product. So if you want to, you know, be an authority, an expert, that's what you might want to check out. But only after you've gone through Make Them Buy and the traffic course. Then next, what do we have? We have got social media. Alrighty, social media, I don't go into the latest trick of setting up a fan page. There's enough stuff on that out there. Although over time, if there's enough demand, we can put this in here. This is more about two things, actually a couple of things. First one is FB Kickstart is a course by myself. It's on how to position or use social media for positioning. That's really nice principle. So you can kind of pre-frame everything you're doing, and it affects all the other marketing you're doing. It's more aimed in general at people who are, you know, I am the expert. I want to, you know, be the face of the company, or at least my name to be known. How to Do Likeable Social Media is a book review and annotated summary of likeable social media. It's a very good book, very good concepts in there, well worth reading. And then we've got Social Media Myopia, which is an interview I did, and that goes into some of the pitfalls you might fall into when you look at feedback you're getting from social media. Plus, there's a lot of other stuff in marketing. Very, very good. Alrighty. That was social media. Then list building and email marketing. So at the moment, there isn't much in there, because everything you need to know about email, list building and email marketing is really covered in Graceful Email Marketing. It's a course of ours, and if you don't have it yet, you can get a 33% discount by using this magic code here. But over time, we will add more content around list building and email marketing, or of course also case studies. And you might want to look at the Traffic Foundation Part 2 I showed you earlier, because it covers some, you know, interesting concepts around list segmentation or segmenting your traffic. After list building and email marketing, we have sales psychology. Yes, that's where it's all at. You know, a lot of the stuff is in Make Them Buy. Make sure you go through Make Them Buy. Also, make sure you at some point read Influence. I mean, you must go and read Influence. Then I've got a case study here, a dodgy use of sales psychology, and that is me reviewing someone else using sales psychology in the wrong way. And Sexy Sales Funnels, it's a little video on where to get started when creating an avatar. At least that's my take on that. Then we've got productivity, yay! Okay, so the whole raison d'etre for experience.im is that a lot of people get overwhelmed with all the stuff out there. And trust me, I've been there. You know, in the beginning, it was just like crap. But first, I mean, literally within like a month of getting started online, I bought a product launch formula, $2,000. I mean, it's insane. I had absolutely no use for it. Like, I had no idea what to do with this thing, but the marketing worked so well. You know, there's 2 lessons in there. First one is, when you're new to this, it is, you know, it's so easy to get like, whoa, here's one thing I want to dive in. And the other one is that things like sales psychology does work and product launches do work. So there you go, those are 2 lessons. Anyway, productivity. A lot of people come into experience.im or, you know, in general into online marketing, and they're now overwhelmed and they want to get out of this. And I encourage you to almost ignore most of the stuff here. A lot of this is based on my previous product, Bare Knuckle Productivity, which was great, but it was more great at helping you figure out why you're stuck, and then gave you a plan on how to overcome it. But you kind of had to implement or come up with a plan yourself and implement the plan yourself. And in the years that followed, with all the coaching I've done, I figured out a much more effective way, and in the coming months, what we're going to do is basically run through that process. And by all means, if you're interested in how productivity works, or why we're so easily distracted, and why it's not a bad thing, it's totally natural to be like distracted by other stuff. There's a great article in the BBC the other day, I might actually stick this in here, that shows you that the way we have evolved, it is only natural that we are curious. And, you know, if then certain conditions fall into place, it is so super easy to get distracted and do something else, do something you're not supposed to be doing. So I wouldn't say, oh God, terrible, I'm procrastinating. Forget about all of that. There are reasons for it, and if you want to figure out what the reasons are and develop some awareness, okay, cool, look at the productivity. Otherwise, you know, not that important. Apart from how to structure a service offering for maximum revenue. This is important if you are offering something as a service. And typically when you offer a service, you get compared on price. People go, well, I can get the same thing over there for far less. This one will help you. It's once again a book review. It's Built to Sell by John Warillo. Really simple concept, really powerful. Go and read it, but only, of course, if you're doing a service type thing. And then we finally get the stuff you're supposed to be looking at, and that is, oh yes, if you're into productivity, at the bottom, what you saw there was the fabulous call with James Prochaska. So those guys have done a legendary study on addiction, bad behaviors, how to overcome them. You know, being addicted to shiny objects, being addicted to food, cigarettes, wife beating, including those crazy things, and how to overcome them. And they didn't start with like, here's the theory how you overcome this thing. Instead, they just looked at behavior. What do people actually do? And figured out, oh look, there's an underlying pattern which you can break into different phases of how people overcome that thing. And kind of that was a strong guiding force behind Bare Knuckle Productivity. Turns out there's a much easier way, and that's, like I said, we're going to cover in the next few months. However, it's worth being aware of this work. So, you know, it's an hour or so I'm talking with Jim there. It's pretty cool stuff. Now, monthly coaching calls. That's where basically you get your questions answered. And if you can't be live on the call, you ask me beforehand, send it in, and I'll answer it on the call, and then you get the recording. Cool. And then finally, we've got the monthly case studies. And that's where, you know, this whole thing comes to life. So ignore everything apart from, of course, make them buy and the traffic introduction. And then we'll apply that stuff in the monthly case studies. That's where the real action is happening. Actually, let me just click on there so you can see this for yourself. This is the centerpiece of experience.im, exactly. So you see the planning stage. Not like, you know, usually case studies go, well, you know, we've decided to sell this product and boom, there you go. It's like, all right, why did you choose it? And duh. So you see all of that. Then you see the implementation. Like, what do we do in the preparation before we actually, you know, magically hop onto whatever, you know, platform and magically drive traffic? Then you see the magic going onto, for example, Facebook. And you'll see all the failures, all the setbacks, and go, oh crap, that didn't work. And of course, how we deal with the failures, how we fix them, how we learn from them. This is the big difference between those who are stuck and those who move forward. Seriously, I mean, if there's one thing that everyone who succeeds has in common, is they have failures, plenty of them, and then they learn from them and they deal with them and go. And no matter how painful it is, and trust me, to this day, when I've got a serious setback, I just go, oh crap, and then I go, all right. It's not me personally. It wasn't that the ad was bad. Oh, by the way, you have to go through that traffic introduction. Okay, that's all in there, and then you learn from it and you move forward, and you see the successes, and you will witness unbridled enthusiasm when we are successful. Cool. So there you go. That's 15 minutes of introduction, but you only had to pay attention to the first 3. It was 4, but there you go. Alrighty. Any questions? Let me know. Alrighty. There's a support desk up here, and then the other links are up here, but really the important ones are support. If you've got questions, the coaching calls are here on the side and at the top, because they're so incredibly important. The monthly case studies I might move to the top as well, just don't want to overload the whole thing. And that's it. Alrighty, have fun with this, and if you've got any questions, let me know. Speak to you soon. Bye.